St Mary's Church is absolutely unique. You will not find a church like this anywhere else in the country. This church is locally known, nationally known, in fact internationally renowned, and people visit it every day. It was built in 1842. It was designed and funded by a lady, Sarah Losh. I am Raymond Whitaker and I am chair of the Friends of St Mary's Church, Wreay. Yes, the painting at the back of St Mary's has been passed down in a family within the village and has been on display in the church for many decades. It was obviously quite dirty. It's only when it's clean that you realise, in fact, how dirty it was. And there were small tears in it, which had happened just over the course of time.
My name is Lita Angelaki and I'm a paintings conservator for the Fine Art Restoration Company. Over the past 5 months I've been working on a very exciting project, a painting from a church which is the portrait of a woman called Sarah Losh. Before we even begin with any conservation treatments, we do the assessment of the painting. We do a visual inspection of it, both under natural light and UV light. With this particular painting, we took all of the steps necessary in order to revert it back to its original form without intervening too much.
So it came as a bit of a surprise when I met with Jenny Uglow, a renowned historian and biographer, and she was researching for a book about Sarah. And when she came in, the first thing that she said to me was, "You do realise that's not a portrait of Sarah Losh." And I was rather stumped by that. It was the rug had been pulled out from underneath us. And I said, "Why do you say that?" And she said, "Well, the style of that dress and the age of the lady means that that person is at least 20 years younger than our Sarah." But it just so happens that Sarah had a younger cousin who went rather confusingly by the name of Sarah Spencer Losh. And I suppose we haven't been telling lies in the past when we said it's a portrait of Sarah Losh, but probably not our Sarah, the designer of this church.
Hi, my name's John Auld. I'm a conservator of about 35 years experience, and I'm here today to help my colleague Lito at the Fine Art Restoration Company to conserve a particularly difficult painting which needs to be relined. So this is a very challenging project because the painting has a lot of tears in it already. It's got a thin canvas. It appears to have an interleaf canvas, so it has a lining on the back, and in between the lining and the original canvas is another thinner layer. It's been somewhere very damp, obviously in the church, and this has caused the two linings to start to delaminate at the bottom. So this has quite some historical significance to the church from which it's come from, so it's an important portrait. And has some age as well, and I believe it's the only portrait of this sitter that's in existence. So it's an important historical document that needs to be cared for, and hopefully by us conserving it, it'll last a lot longer for future generations to enjoy. Conservation and restoration is important because basically we are protecting and safeguarding collections for the future. A lot of objects are starting to degrade and to deteriorate as soon as they're made, and they will need some sort of care and some sort of conservation as they age. And we can't stop them aging, but we can prolong their life and try and keep them in as good a condition as possible for as long as possible.
The portrait of Sarah Losh, or Sarah Spencer Losh, is important to our church because it's another piece of its history. People visit the church from all over the world, and we want to tell the story of this unique church to them, and each part of its history is as important as each other. At the end of the day, we are just custodians of this building for our lifetime, and so it is so important to maintain it.
The benefit of having a team of conservators working on this project is really the range of experience and innovative ideas as well. It's really good to run ideas past other people with specialist knowledge, and this discussion and this the end product is part of a collaboration with people that are very knowledgeable, each to their own field. There was also the issue of the old retouches. They were present in some places and have degraded. In other places they were not present at all, so you could see straight through to the tear without anything covering it. And of course it was the varnish layer on top of it, which was too shiny, too brilliant, that prevented you from actually seeing the painting properly because it was just reflecting too much. After a long process of conservation has taken place, like this particular project was, it's quite fulfilling, and working on something with such historical significance is also very pleasing, because I know that it will now be hung in a public place for people to enjoy in the future.
We are absolutely delighted with the result. Now that you can see all the detail in it, what appears to be a Lake District landscape behind her, and particularly I'm pleased to see that we can now read a signature. We weren't aware of a signature before, and there is a signature in the bottom right hand corner, says Linser or Linset. And so my next mission is to do a bit of research and find out, okay, who was this portrait artist? Oh, we are most certainly going to keep the portrait at the back of the church. It's part of its history, and people are interested in all the stories that it can tell. So there is no doubt, yes, whether it's Sarah Losh or Sarah Spencer Losh, she's remaining at the back of the church.